Good evening and welcome to this edition of Left, Right and Centre. I'm Nidhi Razdan. Tonight, in a few moments, we'll go across live to Islamabad, where Home Minister P. Chidambaram has just finished a meeting with his Pakistani counterpart, Rehman Malik. He's also met the Pakistani Foreign Minister. Tonight, the Home Minister in Islamabad, he, as we said, held a one-on-one meeting with his Pakistani counterpart, Rehman Malik, where we understand that the primary focus was on the issue of terrorism and the Mumbai attack. That's the first question we're asking on the show tonight. Let me first throw that question to K.C. Singh, the former Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. Mr. Singh, how do you think yesterday's talks between the foreign secretaries went? We didn't see the usual rhetoric we normally do between the two countries.
I think it was rehearsed bonhomie. It went very well. They were almost identical statements, mutual backslapping. And you could see that they were told that that was not the real act. That was a sort of resumption of dialogue. They said it is not the composite dialogue, yet it is comprehensive. You can bring all subjects to the table. And they said this is leading to the foreign minister, the meeting of the foreign ministers. So it was left sufficiently vague. And at the same time, the Indian Foreign Secretary said we are looking at doables, short-term, medium-term, which means they've prioritized the subjects in the composite dialogue. Earlier, it was a box in which you dealt with them. They prioritized them, maybe added a few. Pakistan may bring in Balochistan, we bring in Afghanistan, they may bring in water, and we have greater focus on terrorism. Now, mind you, some of these subjects were always there in the composite dialogue. It mentioned terrorism as a subtext. It mentioned water in Sir Creek and so on and so forth, or Tulbul navigation, etc. But it did not address the issue of Indus Water Treaty, etc. So some of those have got broadened. There is nothing wrong if you want to calibrate your subjects and recalibrate your dialogue, that's fine. But it'll be good if you do it upfront. I think the government's difficulty has been because after 26/11, they said no composite dialogue till we have full satisfaction.
So you feel the government's been inconsistent in its policy?
No, not inconsistent. I think they were in a corner where how do you resume dialogue with Pakistan, which is called composite dialogue, without getting full satisfaction? You did not get full satisfaction. You probably never will. You have had some satisfaction, and that is where Mr. Chidambaram comes in.
Well, let me ask Siddharth Varadarajan, Bureau Chief of The Hindu. Is your assessment that as well, that it was rehearsed bonhomie, or did you feel that there was a genuine understanding from the Pakistani side this time about India's concerns?
Well, the very fact that you can have India and Pakistan jointly rehearsing something tells you that there is a degree of trust and understanding which wasn't there before. The two foreign secretaries met in Delhi in February. The meeting didn't go well. Or didn't go as well as this meeting seems to have gone. They had briefings which were separate, which produced a considerable amount of acrimony by the time the day was over. Compared to that, I think what we saw was excellent. You had reporters. They had, of course, apportioned questions, right? 2 to Indians, 2 to Pakistanis. And the questions, were really, I think the journalists did their job. They tried their best to provoke their own foreign secretaries into making a stand. And had they answered in a traditional way, had Salman Bashir answered the Balochistan question in the expected fashion, it would have created a storm. I think had Nirupama Rao answered questions on progress of 26/11 and various other uninterruptibility of talks in the traditional way, it would have created. So I think in a way, the ball has been kicked further down, and the foreign ministers will have to resolve this. Prime ministers will meet probably once or twice again this year. But I'm just glad that the process, which was looking quite stuck 2 or 3 months ago, seems to have gotten unstuck. I'm not sure where it will lead, but I think it's a good beginning.
Tuba.com